Welcome everyone to Chibino Podcast. We're doing a special episode today. We got some awesome video footage of the campaign for Halo Infinite. We've all been waiting for this, and the trailer seems awesome. So we're just going to go over a little bit here today and give you kind of our thoughts and predictions and see if we can uncover any cool things going over the trailer. And this is Maj, your tech guy, and let me introduce my friends. I got
Me, David the Smash fan.
our
And
special guest.
Hobby the Shark King.
Shark
There we
King. Ooh ha! I love that.
How's it going, everyone?
We're going good. Just ready now to talk about Halo.
It's about for
It's been a long time coming, right, guys? For waiting for more campaign footage after the year wait from E3.
it's the only thing that's been keeping me alive this last year.
Well, let's get into it. I know most of our viewers have probably already seen a lot of this footage, so we're just kind of going to go over our thoughts and our predictions. I know there's not really been like a staple of answers, so we'll just go over our thoughts. So let's get started.
Since the beginning, Halo was about Master Chief.
So I really loved the whole
partners,
Halo
protecting
CE color on Cortana there.
Agreed.
When I first saw it, I was like, "What the heck?" I was wondering what they were doing with that. And then when you hear the voiceover, it's like he's reminiscing of how they were like when we first met them in the first game, and I thought that was really cool. It's a cool little nod to where the franchise started.
Agreed.
Yeah, the purple is just so reminiscent and it's so iconic. I mean, we've had so much blue from her, I think, since 2 onward. I think the first time we've seen purple was CE, so it's kind of interesting you're doing that. But I mean, obviously, when we get the trailer more, you see like the weapon and she's blue, so I think that's going to be kind of nice to differentiate like the two Cortanas. But I like that they showed the old school design here rather than like that new like design she's had since she got control of the Prometheans. But I have a question for you guys. So this scene alone, where you see this, do you think Chief is kind of having another one of those like flashback scenes he's kind of having that we've seen? What was it in 5? Wasn't that remember that scene where he thinks he sees Cortana and it's almost like a vision thing? Do you think that's what's happening right now?
Are you talking about like the Halo 3 campaign, like before he finds Cortana?
No, in 5. So it's after he lost her. And then that, remember when he's kind of in that cave searching and then he sees like a figure, it's a silhouette that looks like Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like a vision. What I'm wondering is, do you guys think that maybe this is a vision, or like, how do you think this like scene's gonna play out? I guess exactly like what we're seeing here with the original Cortana. Like you see this part right here that he's holding, and you can see kind of a smoky design here, and you see the purple lighting on his hand. But but see how she disappears like that? Do you guys think he's having a vision, or like what do you guys think is causing this right now?
I think it's just for the trailer. I don't know, because it might, again, I think the voiceover might be, but the whole part of him holding her up, it might just be him reminiscing of when she was like when we first saw them. It could be also Cortana trying to play the Chief's emotions. That's why she changed her color. Because again, they said that all this is campaign, right? It's all campaign gameplay. So it could be her trying to reach out to Chief and be like, you know what, I'm not a bad guy. I haven't changed. Look, this is how you remembered me. And that's why she stays that color, all throughout the gameplay trailer that we have for the campaign.
Well, it's a good point, because I know that the story that we have in this one is a lot of it is finding what happened to Cortana, right? A lot of the discovery in this campaign has been confirmed that we're going to be finding out what happened to her. So maybe this is a symbolization of her going purple, where they kind of started with her and the Chief going on his journey. But I do kind of think maybe it's probably just a vision, or maybe he's entering some area on his way to try and find Cortana that you said trying to communicate to him in some way. No, that's just a theory. What about you, Shark King? What do you think?
I'm kind of agreeing with David. I think it really just has to do with, I don't think it's really like, what do you call it?
Like a big thing, I guess.
Shadowing to anything, honestly. I think it's just kind of for the trailer, and it's just her narrating, and it's just kind of, because I mean they've talked about it, and I think they're doing a good job overall. 343 is trying to go back, quote unquote, back to their roots of the sea, and I think they're just trying to bring back those feels, and the soundtrack in the back, of course, doesn't hurt.
Okay. All right, let's continue.
distant memory. Humanity is fighting for survival.
So one thing I want to notice right here, holy crap, has this scene from originally how it looks now looks amazingly better.
Yeah.
Defeated our
Like this whole scene, I saw some people do a side by side, and like all the ice right here and all this was like very blurry. This is like all super detailed now.
It looks great. I mean, they did have a whole year.
mysterious Zeta Halo.
They what?
They had a whole year to work on it, to be fair. But
And thank God they did something with that, right?
Luckily, it shows that they used that year to do something. Because if they didn't, I would have been really upset had this not looked better.
yeah,
You
I think
know-
they no other choice but to make it look this great.
I just barely noticed this too, that he has this grapple hook just kind of hanging and floating. So I wonder if he tried to activate it at one time before he got, frozen like this, and it didn't grapple on something. You know what I mean? Like you went and shoot it and it didn't grab.
Could have.
I just barely noticed that.
We need a savior.
See, that looks 10 times better. My gosh, that looks so much better.
Lead Spartan 117.
I like that his armor isn't all clean now. It's actually like war torn. You know what I mean? It was way too clean in the original.
It
in
looked
my
like
opinion.
a toy. I didn't like it.
Yes, it did look like a toy, didn't it?
I was
Yeah,
like,
it really did.
War.
well, it
Yeah,
was like,
right. Like where?
well,
Where's
it's like
the damage?
we went with like Halo 4 and Halo 5, where he was his color was a darker
Huh.
green, was more gritty, had all these scars and stuff. And then when I saw the first, I was like, did he like polish it? What the heck did he do here?
I know, and you see him like floating in space, and then they grab him, but then he has like no wear to his armor. Anyway,
Master Chief.
I had to say that intro is just amazing. Just going straight to the classic music.
What's down there? A weapon. A weapon.
So when he says a weapon, well, obviously we know the weapon he's going to go after is the Cortana AI, the sister Cortana.
They called the weapon,
Um,
yeah.
Called the weapon. So that leads me to believe that that whole scene we saw in that previous footage where Chief's going through all that wreckage and grabs like the assault rifle out of the Marine's hands in space. I guess this is obviously going to go look for him, but it is kind of weird because later on here in the trailer, he says that, or she says to Chief that it's been 6 months, but we obviously know he gets down here to go recover her. So I'm wondering if she's always been down in here or if he had her from like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
I guess.
if you look at, she had to have been down there for a while because, I was looking at the other trailers because it said in the other trailer that this point in time was 157 days before, because they said this took place like 157 days after we lost, and so she must have been on there previous to that, or might have been put on there to somehow turn the tide on Zeta Halo, and it didn't work, and so she's just been stationed there, just kind of waiting on standby. I remember something like that. It was like the timelines don't match exactly, but it just matches that she should have been there before we actually lost.
Good point. It's just when we know he picks her up, she says 6 months,
Mhm.
and that means that Chief did have to have talked to her 6 months ago with her, and that had to have been either on the ring or I don't know before.
We
I don't
also
know.
don't know how long he's been in space, how long he's been in this mode, because all we know is that there's wreckage and he's just stuck there. So
True.
he could have been on his way to there, and that's when it all blew up, and he could have been aimlessly in space for a bit because obviously I forget the guy's name, but he's also was just kind of wandering there, and then he hears that,
Who, the pilot?
yeah, because he's
Hmm.
also just been there stationed, just waiting for something. He counting the days, and then all of a sudden you see Chief kind of floating by. So something must have happened to him, and by chance he was going past the ship, and that's when he noticed him.
Yeah, because we saw him kind of like his hair like grew out when he's sitting there looking at his old, footage of his like I guess his wife, I'm guessing, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Chief must have been out there for I don't know how long, because I don't know I can't remember exactly how his suit could keep him alive without like nutrition or anything like that. But he must have. But I mean, he also survived like however many years from Halo 3 to 4. So
Well, you got a point because, like, I don't remember from the books. I don't know if you remember, Javi, but I remember it's only a certain amount of time they have in that suit. So unless the suit adds some kind of form of like cryo, I mean, to freeze him, that's the only thing I think there's a new modification of the suit. Other than that, I can't imagine he'd be lasting out there that long.
True. I do know that they can survive a long time in their armor, even if they're not in cryo or Cairo, however you want to pronounce that. I'm pretty bad at pronouncing that, but they can survive for quite a bit, especially like if it powers down and just a mandatory like survival mode. Like they can go, if I'm not mistaken, I think in the books it mentions like they can go a good like I want to say 6 months. I'm not gonna. It's been a while since I've read, so don't quote me on that. But it's around.
Yeah, but the problem is being in space, being that cold, they would have to go into some kind of cryo or something freeze. They have to.
It has to be some sort of something to do with the upgraded armor that it lets him stay in that state or go into cryo while he's in there. Because I mean, when he in Halo 3, we know that his suit can lock up so that he doesn't get any damage if he like falls from 6,000 feet in space. So like we know that there's these safety measures that this suit has. So now it makes sense that he would have some sort of safety measure where if he is thrown into space again, that they use the cold of space like to their advantage and put him in a cryo state so that he's there waiting until he gets saved or whatever.
That makes sense. Either that, yeah, that makes sense. And then also kind of random little side note I wanted to point out: the voice actor who plays the pilot is also the actor for Octane in Apex Legends.
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's really cool. Okay, all right. All right, let's continue here.
How many guns do you need?
Like how you're seeing all the different so you kind of like the sunset and you got like the open day and stuff. I'm wondering why we traverse if we're gonna have time of day cycles throughout the campaign.
There is going to be.
There is. That's
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah,
So-
I read. I think it was the Halo canon. Every week, the weekly update that 343 pushes out, they've confirmed that this is going to be a thing. And
What
it will
about weather?
I don't know about whether they did confirm day and night cycles, and your weapon will be affected in cutscenes. So if you're holding a sword, you'll be walking around with the sword in the cutscene.
Really? That's awesome.
It's gonna be really cool. I'm already liking when I first saw this that they took out a lot of the stupid like pillars, the metal pillars. They're still there because I'm pretty sure they serve a purpose, but they're not.
But at least they like look worn or weathered, right? They don't look like just that perfect. It's kind of like Chief's armor, right? Previously, it was too clean, no detail. But now, if you look at him, it actually looks like a piece of Forerunner construct.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Some people were saying that in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Some people were saying that that's a fallen guardian, like to the little bit to the right there.
Okay.
I thought that actually got confirmed. Actually,
Oh, I wasn't sure if it's confirmed. I just know there were people were talking about that.
yes, they were. How do you see this right here?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, and that is very interesting because that does kind of go into the situation of, because we don't get a lot of Cortana in this trailer, to be honest. And I'm not sure how prevalent she's going to be in this necessarily. I mean, we can get into that a little bit later, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of assuming at this point that it's going to be a lot about saving Cortana in this game, rather than fighting against her at this point. It's kind of what I'm feeling.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs always wanted to do that. Even in 5, when he's like, "I gotta take her down," like even though he didn't want to follow her, his whole goal was still to save her. Like,
Yeah,
that's why he
but
had
I
that whole
mean-
issue with Locke.
But I mean, in this one, I actually think it's actually going to happen. Like, I'm not sure Cortana is exactly running the show right now. Is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know how much she's running it right now versus the Banish and the Harbinger, which we'll bring up later. I'm
Right.
kind of wondering if they're more in control of things right now. Because we don't know what's happened. It's like war stuff. Like, how did
Sure.
the UNSC fall for the Banish? Did Cortana help in that, or
Yeah.
did the Banish fight against Cortana? Like, you know what I mean? That's, I guess, what I'm getting.
well, I mean, Halo. If Halo Wars 2 is any indication, like it didn't look like she was with the Banished at all. She just happened to they happened to
Yeah.
find him.
Good
Agreed.
point. All right, let's continue. Loving the wildlife, by the way.
Agreed.
You know what's crazy about this part right here? There is so many of these canisters to throw throughout the entire freaking campaign trailer. Have you guys noticed that? Like, you can throw there's so many of
It's
these.
gonna be a bomb fest.
Oh, I'm so excited. Wait, speaking of that, do you guys think it's gonna have the oh god, I hope not. Are we gonna have the chain reactions of grenades like Halo C?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
of course.
No.
I don't
It's
want
gonna
it.
happen because the grunts are gonna come. They're gonna do their suicidal grenade
Yeah.
thing. You're gonna shoot him. It's gonna get near one of those canisters. It's inevitable, and you're just gonna boom, 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 boom. You die. It's just gonna
PTSD.
happen.
PTSD.
Just keep going, Miles. Just keep going. We don't need to.
In the biggest campaign.
Okay, that's awesome. The electricity. Do you guys think we're going to do that multiplayer on the grapple?
No, I think
I
it's
don't-
broken.
Only?
I want to think no, but I'm kind of skipping a little bit ahead just because I have this in my notes. But this confirms that there's going to be upgradable gear in campaign.
Mhm.
You see that though. You see that in the little hub that we'll see later. There's upgradable stuff to different boosters and different grapples. So it does make sense what Javi's saying. Shark
Okay.
King, I mean.
Campaign to date, Halo Infinite invites players to become Master Chief and discover true Spartan.
Okay, this right here, I saw some people pointing out, and this is solely true. From the E3 demo, this is the same spot, but we're on the backside of the ship.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more of a nighttime look as well. It's darker versus where it was more lit up in the demo. So it's pretty cool. You can see the outside part of this, but just Banshee flying, obviously. So wherever they started with the Warthog, it's like this person decided to have a Banshee instead, I'm guessing. And
Right.
then, what do you guys think this is? Do you guys think this is a boost limiter down here in the bottom right corner for the Ghost?
It has to be. It's left. What is it?
Yeah.
Is it left trigger?
Yeah, it is left
That's
trigger.
that's boost.
But well, it's weird that it has a bar though. We've never had a boost limiter on a Ghost. That's gonna be interesting.
On a Banshee you have, but it's been a different icon. It's been a circular icon on your bottom right of your screen on multiplayer.
What game had a limiter for it?
4 had the limiter on all of its turbo. The Ghost and the Banshee both had it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that. Okay.
and it was just like the arrow was the icon was just like an arrow instead of like an armor ability on the vehicle.
Gotcha. So yeah, this is all new then.
Gauge. It wasn't a bar. It was more of a gauge.
I really hope they get rid of the whole like I can't remember how it was in the. I don't think I got to really pilot a Banshee. Did you have to switch between back and forth the weapon between bombs and guns in Infinite? Do you guys remember?
I want to say you. I don't think you had to this time. I could be
No.
mistaken. Even
I
in
can't
the
remember.
technical preview, it was pretty hard to get a hold of a Banshee.
Yeah, yeah.
I think-
But if he
I
did,
mean-
they held on to it forever.
Yeah,
That's true too.
we played it pretty religiously, or at least I did, and I think I got a Banshee maybe twice.
You had 45 hours in it, and I wasn't able to get into one. Let's see here.
Freedom in the most wide open and adventure-filled Halo experience yet. But Chief won't be alone on the journey.
Yeah, I just gotta. I'm just baffled at this. This is so. It just gives me chills. Like the level of the Halo that is so iconic, but like on steroids. Like right. This is just. Look how vast. I mean, this is so unbelievable. I think it's everything we've kind of always wanted growing up. You know.
Agreed? Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
It's so.
His
Oh, sorry. What was that?
No, I'm just saying it's so pretty. It's just
Oh,
crazy to think. I mean, especially me and Miles, we've been kind of going through the campaigns to get in prep for Infinite's launch, and we're up to what? Halo 2 in chronological. And
yeah, from Wars. Yeah.
this is it's great. I mean, it's crazy to see how it makes sense that it's been what 20 years, right, since the CE launch. So,
The
More than
technology is
that,
finally
yeah.
available.
but it's so beautiful to see. It's just nice to see the changes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
mission is to retrieve a new AI, codenamed the Weapon. It's been 6 months. Where have you been? Following the
See, that's kind of what's interesting. Then here's the trailer. Obviously, when he first, sees her in that trailer we saw originally. I'm wondering if this is like a reverse of that scene right here.
Do you think it's kind of weird that Cortana's the one like narrating this part?
I guess kind of. Yeah, I kind of thought that. But then again, if you think about it, who else would narrate it? It'd just be some random spokesperson.
Well, do you think that's a purpose to it? Because it's more like she knows what's going to happen. She's like, and this is what he's doing. He's following these events and all this stuff. Again, it might not be. Again, it might just be to the campaign. I mean, just for the trailer. But I mean, they've always been good at like leaving little hints, like that subtle
Sure.
hints, like, oh, it's actually this, and so it makes me feel like Cortana still is in control.
But let me ask you this: are you hearing Cortana, or are you just hearing Jen Taylor talk?
See, that's why I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
I think it's just Jen Taylor talking.
Yeah.
That's what I feel, but I don't know.
Beginning, she referred to Cortana as someone. I mean, Cortana would never refer to herself in the third person. when she's talking about Cortana and Chief. So that's my reasoning behind that. That's why I
Maybe
think
it's more of a comforting nostalgia feel, letting you know that hey, Cortana will be in this. You know what I mean? Like including her voice. That like we're giving you Chief, but don't worry, you're gonna get Cortana. Like in more ways than not, I guess maybe.
Right.
I don't know. Like I think it's Jen Taylor talking, but it also gives you that nostalgic comfort feeling. Like oh hey, Jen Taylor's talking, cool. You know, it just makes it feel more, I guess, respectful and authentic to the lore. I guess maybe I don't know. We
yeah,
could be
just
looking too much into it.
general. I mean,
Let's keep
It
going.
works. She has a good narrating voice, so it works.
The events of Halo 5, Master Chief is searching for the answer to a troubling question.
Like, okay, first off, I love the purple, but I
Yep.
still hate that Forerunner stupid freaking suit thing she's wearing. I don't. It's super dumb to me, but whatever. But she looks great. Like the face looks better than 5. I thought 5 was a horrible, the worst face I've ever. Well, no,
No.
hobby. I'm gonna. Yes. Original C is the worst. Yes. Second worst was Halo 5. I hated how whoever did the facial animations, how they did that. I hated it in 5. She didn't look like Cortana at all to me. This looks like Cortana though to me.
agreed.
What about you, David?
Yeah, not have nothing to add on there. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering. Oh my gosh, my throat. I'm wondering where this is gonna take place. Because I said, wait, that first part we saw Cortana kind of disappears. I wonder if this is still a vision that he's having, or if this is gonna be a cutscene where he actually is interacting with Cortana, and she's looking at this, or there's gonna be completely a different scene that doesn't involve the Chief at all, and it just involves Cortana. So it just makes me think more of where these cutscenes are gonna go.
You
Okay.
just gave me an interesting prediction right now, by the way. This purple, look at it. What I said earlier, I just barely noticed. Remember earlier I said you could see like kind of that fog look of the purple?
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing it right here too. I think you're spot on, Days. I think this is an interaction between her and Chief right now. They're going through memory lane, they're having a talk, figuring out a plan together of what they're going to do. And I think she talks about how I'm the same Cortana and puts the vision of the original Cortana in his hand of how far they've came. I think that entire scene is wrapped around the same thing right now. You got the dark bluish background that we had in the first original part of the trailer, the purple smog, purple Cortana, the original purple vision. I think all of those scenes are correlated the same right here.
Yeah, could be. It would be
Right.
interesting if that's what it is.
What about you, Hobby? What do you think of that?
It could, yeah. Like I think David says. I mean, I think it's still too soon to tell. Like I still am just feeling that most of this is just promotional trailer for the stuff. Because I mean, they did a good job, and we talked about this right when this trailer came out. I think they did
This is definitely in-game engine right here.
of showing the campaign without ruining anything from the campaign. You know, like
Sure.
there's very few things. I mean, maybe we'd have to like slow this down, take this more like frame by frame, but I don't think we can really confirm anything.
No, I'm just predicting. So like if I go back here, if you guys look at the fog, you'll see the fog and it's still the blue background. See that?
Master Chief
Mhm.
and Cortana.
And then see how there's like a blue hue background behind him?
Humanity.
And then I go back to 140 here. I'm wondering if these scenes are tied in the same spot.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a theory. Just a
Could be.
theory. All right.
The Cortana. I was created to lock down Cortana, but I don't know why. What did she do that was so wrong?
Hey, one thing I want to, just touch on real quick about that. This Cortana seems almost clueless, but the point I guess I'm making by that cluelessness is ever since we know from the books that after Cortana took everything out and took a lot of the smart AI with them, we know that a lot of the UNSC took away AIs, like the smart AIs, and they left dumb AIs only. We know that the Spartan armor, for example, can stop corruption or hacking or any manipulation inside of the armor. We do know that Spartan armor can protect against smart AIs. So even if you had Cortana in his head, she couldn't do anything. That's just fact in the lore. But we do know that UNSC shut those down. So the thing is, we know that this Cortana was made by Halsey. Whether she modified her or whatever, is she technically a smart AI still? But because she acts like a smart AI, but she doesn't seem like an advanced smart AI, if that makes sense. But she's also not a dumb AI, because a dumb AI is just like a HUD display. It's not really, there's nothing really advanced to a dumb AI in the lore. You know what I mean? So
Right.
do you think she's still a smart AI that like maybe Halsey helped kind of fix to do things? Or it just seems like her persona is very
Dumb.
not well knowing. Yeah, kind of dumb.
She does seem like a quote, like the quote unquote dumb AIs, because she doesn't seem to remember a lot of the biggest differences is that a smart AI, quote unquote smart AIs, can kind of figure for themselves and they're creative. Dumb AIs can feel they're smart only as far as their programming goes.
Yes, exactly. But obviously, Cortana model's only made by Halsey, so I'd imagine her obviously being smarter than the average dumb AI.
Right.
Sure.
But dumb AIs don't have the personality. So I mean, she does. Her personality is still very basic, but that's also because I don't know when she was created, and she could have been created with different restrictions that
Agreed.
they can't fall like to Cortana or get manipulated. So that's what I'm thinking. There's restrictions
Good
on her,
point.
but she's still smart in the sense
So
that
maybe
she's smart.
yeah. So she's a smart AI we're thinking, but with some restrictions that Halsey's obviously put in place as a failsafe.
Right.
Or either that or vice versa. She's a dumb AI with smart AI modifications, improvements.
That's a
also
good point.
Yeah, she's too smart to be dumb, and she's too dumb to be smart.
Okay, this is really cool. What do you guys think about this? Where you can like call in like the weapon, I mean the vehicle you want, and just drop it. Like that to me just tells you how big the map is, in my opinion.
All I kept thinking is, why would you drop a wasp like that? You broke the wings. It's useless now.
I was thinking the same thing actually a little bit.
A damaged world full of
That's what I thought. But I thought it's cool. I do like it.
I mean, look how freaking massive this world is. My God, like holy crap! It just makes you wonder though, how much are we like? Because they said it's not necessarily an open world. I still want to like be able to do like go into missions where you go into like different places, right? Like think like how the silent cartographer is different than like Assault in the Control Room, right? Is there going to be different places we go where it's snowy or just sandy? You know what I mean? Or I'm not sure how they're going to do this. I don't necessarily want a Far Cry world, obviously. Like do this point here, do this point here, collect this, collect this. You know what I mean? Obviously, there needs to be some linearity, you know?
Yeah.
But I think they're still going to have to include levels, right? I mean, I guess it could just be like New Mombasa, but I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, like ODST style, but bigger. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to do this because how big this is, it looks like you can be exploring this crap for a very long time. And seeing how big this is, it really makes me very disappointed we're not going to have co-op on launch, guys.
Yeah. It's.
But yeah,
I've come to terms with that. So.
You've come to terms.
I'm still mad about it, especially
I'm
since
still mad.
me and Miles have been we've been going through all the campaigns, and this is great, and we're like, oh, I can't wait for Infinite to launch. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have to wait. What is it, like 3 months before we can play co-op?
But you know, me and you would go through every depot, collect every skull, every collectible. So
Well,
maybe we'll just wait until the co-op drops, and we'll just do that way.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
keep
keep going.
continue here.
No fault.
every turn. The
Okay, first off, I'm gonna swear. Well, I'll censor myself. Screw these guys already. Sorry, I just want to say that.
Menacing.
You guys know where I'm going with that.
Shout outs to Halo.
As long as it's not Halo 2, that's the only thing.
Screw those guys. You know they're doing that just to freaking scare us. That's why they threw in that bull crap right there.
banished our hunting master chief and the remnants.
You've already seen that trailer or that part.
He looks so much better.
The
Does.
banished army is spread across the surface. Building
Oh, I just want to go back real quick on this.
army is spread across.
Look at all this. Look at all this. So they're fighting all these Marines down here. You know, this gives me the vibes of the original Halo CE when it was going to be on Mac. You had all the Marines like fighting on the ground, fighting all each other. It kind of reminds me of those vibes, early
Yeah.
days.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
across the surface, building fearsome strongholds and outposts with no one to stop them.
I love this part.
Yeah.
Until now.
Good old hunters.
You got what's that called again? The Bulldog?
Yeah, the Bulldog shotgun.
Yeah.
Being as useless as ever, right? Sorry.
From the beginning of the Halo saga, Master Chief has been a hero, ready to fight and win against impossible odds.
I love how the Marines have no armor. It really
Yeah.
it really immerses you that like they really did lose. They have nothing.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool having them have no armor. Like and they were like trapped in that like electric static thing or whatever, that yellow whatever.
Mhm.
It's just
Pretty cool how they did that. Yeah. I don't get in the scene though. Why does he save him and then just take him off the cliff?
YOLO. That's all you gotta know.
I've already.
Bobby, that would not be me. Do not give me shit.
I've already. I was going to. I'm not gonna lie.
I knew you were. Not that bad.
This section of the trailer. It's like, don't worry, you're safe. Drives off an 800-foot cliff. Like, I don't understand the point of this, but okay.
Makes you wonder, did he do this as a joke, or was it going to blow up when it crashes, or is it going to be CE where it just does, you can land no matter what and be fine?
Maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. I still thought it was funny. It's like, wait, what? Like, why would you say?
They're gonna add parachutes.
Parachutes? It's going to Fortnite land?
Yeah.
So one thing that's kind of interesting, you guys see here at the very end of the background, that's obviously the end of the ring again, and I've been seeing a lot of that. I'm really curious if you just fall off this, do you just start floating, or does it just give you an instant death? Like, what happens at the end of at the end of the ring parts of where it's like still being created or damaged?
They've never.
It could be. Oh,
I was gonna say
go
they never really explained the gravity of how it works, of how those boundaries work. Because, like, with normal gravity, like, you need a certain amount of speed and velocity to escape it. And so, I don't know if that works also laterally. Like, I don't know how they did this gravity. So, it'd be interesting just to know how they would go about it. Or if they even thought about it at all. Or maybe it's just like, oh, you're just out of the gravity. You're like, oh, now you're floating. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really I mean, if they could do something with that, that'd be cool, but I'm not sure they will. But
Incoming.
But what if it's a friend?
hey, again, dumb.
It's not.
no.
Oh, your stupid meme today. Javi sent me a thing right here, and it showed this guy coming down, and it was Locke. And
Oh, yeah.
He's like, it's not. Anyways, sorry.
It isn't.
No, it isn't. That's what this guys look sick.
Okay, first off, this is Super Destiny, and you have the health bar. It's obviously going to be a boss. How do you guys feel about this?
I don't know. That was exactly you read my mind. That's the exact same thing that came to my mind as soon as this popped up. I'm like, well, this feels kind of like Destiny. It also makes me think, because they've said it's not an open world, right?
It's not.
So yeah, I mean, it makes me feel like it's very Destiny. It's going to be very Destiny-like, but like a Halo sandbox. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but you know.
David, what about you? What are you thinking about the whole kind of boss life bar Destiny vibe? What are you feeling here?
Life bar. If you can toggle that off, I'm okay with boss fights. I think the health bar, like, it is give me Destiny vibes, but it also, like, I feel like Halo Infinite is trying to immerse you into this world, and seeing little things like this, it just kind of takes away from that experience.
I agree with you.
And so if they can take that away, then that's fine, because that also, like, because then you don't know when he's gonna die. That's like the whole, like, Hunter thing. Hunters, or when you fought the Bruce the first time, like, you know they're gonna die. All other bosses that you had before, like, they didn't have a health bar, and so you didn't know how many times it took to take him down. And so having this kind of takes away the fun.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Halo's always had a problem with boss battles, personally. Because I would see this as more as a mini boss battle, but like, think of this: if this is this, and you fight like the Harbinger or Atriox, what are they gonna do? Have like a life bar the size like Doom Eternal? You know what I mean? So I see your point to that. Because I actually thought they did the boss fights, at least on the higher difficulties, it was annoying as shit, but it did give you a sense of urgency when you fought the Warden Eternal, for example. You never knew when he was gonna die, and he could take quite a while. And Javi and I just got done playing Halo 5 a few months ago on Legendary with him, and he's a pain in the ass.
Agreed. Oh yeah, he's the worst. Especially over and over and over.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm okay with it to a degree, but I prefer it, like you guys said, to really have it gone. But we all know when boss battles are. Like, if you fight like 2 major hunters in an area, everybody knows, okay, this is a mini boss battle. You know,
Yeah.
Infinite can work the same way. Maybe just put his name over him, and I'd be fine with just the name, and that way you know it's like, okay, this is one of the 12 or 18, you know, big
Mini bosses.
boss battles you're gonna have against brutes, but we don't necessarily need a health bar
I would have.
because you know.
I would say I would
I think-
rather like that in the hub, cause in the hub it'd be like, enemy and then the name, kind of thing. Like if it's on the hub, that's fine. But this way I don't like. If it's on the hub, that's fine. Cause you're immersed. He's getting this information from the weapon or whatever, telling me who this person is. So if it's in the hub, again, it's more immersive to me.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, that was a perfect example. Do you see that? He just shot it like a little bit, and his health goes down immediately.
Yeah.
It's on
Perfect example.
Super easy mode.
Players now have more.
So, okay, right here, this reminds me of like a Far Cry design, and I really do not want a Far Cry design in my Halo. I mean, because you look down here and you see all these collectibles. Yes, it looks cool and all, but I don't want this game is 20, 40 hours long because you have to get, 18 outposts out of one area to clear a region of the map to fast travel. I think that's probably what they're going to do. I'm not necessarily sure how well that's going to work with Halo because the UB formula is being very tiresome to a lot of people. I don't need it in my Halo.
Yeah, I mean, if they were gonna do this and having you explore, they might as well have made it all open world, and gone that direction. Because
I absolutely agree.
this is just, again, if this is like, if you can only find these in the missions that you're going to, fine, I'm okay with that. Because that's how Halo's been. But if you, like you said, if you have to go into different crevices and nooks and whatever to find them, I'm not okay with that. If it's not part of the mission.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to want to like go around and get 8 outposts covered to get to the next mission to get to cutscenes. Kind of like Assassin's Creed, right? One thing, not that is this going to be as big as Assassin's Creed, I guarantee that, but one of the regions I got out of like Origin or any of the newer ones like Valhalla, Valhalla is a little bit better on a sense, but I did not like having to do 2 to 4 hours of tedious work. Yeah, side quests. By the time I get to the next cutscene of the story, I don't even remember what the F I was doing. Yeah, it's not, like I want some linearity to Halo. I don't mind the open world and doing these side things here and there, but like maybe we need to do 2 or 3 outposts and get to the next mission, that's fine. But if we have to do like a whole region just to get to the next scene and it could take a couple hours, it should be still with Halo like free choice, right? Like you might just need to do a couple here to get progress. That I'm fine with, but I hope it's not just like make sure to cover 18,000 of these things in the area to progress to the next level or something. You know what I mean? I don't want that.
Sure.
It's not Zelda.
Anyway.
Let's keep going.
Not Zelda. There you go, David.
To take down the banished any way they choose. Banished facility up ahead, Chief.
Like this reminds me of Far Cry a little bit.
What do we do?
Shut it down.
Such a chief way.
Let's just shoot it.
What do we do? Boom.
So do they have that armor lock ability, the brutes? Because it's the second time I've seen a brute do that.
Wait, there's an armor lock that I missed?
When
think
he's in the brute motorcycle.
Right here?
Yep, you'll
Okay.
see it. You'll see it. Just push play. This one that he's gonna come up with. This one right here. Just keep push. Right there. He's like locked.
Well, that was no, that's what do you call that?
Oh,
The repel?
that repel thing. Okay.
I love how he holds this thing.
He's
It
too
just-
big.
Sorry, I laugh every time I see how he holds these. I got the thing.
Like shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny looking, dude.
They are
It's weird that he has the armors in triangle too. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of weird. So this is really interesting. Okay, hold on. This is what I want to talk about. Let me go to the playback speed and put this very slow, and I'm gonna mute this because it's gonna be annoying as shit. So right here you can see all the different things, right? Like here's 3, 3, 3, 3, all the different parts. It looks like it goes all the way up to 4. See that? They're like grayed out over here. Looks
Yeah.
like the only one he has maxed out that he's gonna buy here in a sec is this one.
It has to be because of the sparring cores, because he needs
Yeah.
amount, and so I think those other upgrades on that are blinked out is they require more sparring cores, and that's why you can't even see them. They're just black or just clear.
Makes you wonder what all these other ones are for the grapple hooks, because there's over 4 other improvements, and the only other one we know is the electricity. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Here, let's see if we go here. Okay, shield core. So an enhanced shield module increases the capacity to 115% of the base shield strength. So I'm wondering how that's going to go. Like this one looks like it has like a life bar on it. I don't know if that increases like your other health as well. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's just really cool. We got a shield core, goes to 115%. Threat. Threat sensor, a scout projectile that tracks enemies through walls and terrain. I'm kind of getting that Promethean vision vibe on that one.
Yeah.
Portable Promethean vision.
Mm-hmm. And this one, I think this one's probably something to do with like maybe the range.
Probably.
It'd have to be, yeah.
Okay, so we got drop wall. We know about that one, and we know what the drop wall does. And then thruster, here we go. So add the second charge to your thruster. So that's going to be the Halo 5 thruster that we all know and love. And adds a significant power to the thruster, allows further and faster travel.
And then here's where he upgrades it, I believe.
Yeah, and this is where this gives a cloaking ability, lasts 4 seconds after invisibility, which you see here. Oh, sorry, I still got 2.5 on.
Good.
There we go. There we go. And then obviously goes invisible here, and then hits him. Awesome. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Dude, those elites look amazing, by the way, guys. That looks so much better than the original demo. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So much better.
Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Might be useful if you like that kind of thing.
Oh, I like it.
I love
Just
his
how-
one-liners.
Right? Like, I think we're going to get a lot of dynamic between him and the weapon, don't you guys think?
Yeah, and this totally threw me back to the Halo 2 campaign mission where Sergeant Johnson drops about he knows what the ladies like.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know what the
it is.
ladies like.
Now
Maybe she's figured out what the ladies like.
No, the ladies have figured out what the men like now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this like Mongoose right over here, guys?
It could be. I'm not sure. Yeah, I
Looks
think
like
it
it.
is.
Halo Infinite allows us all to become Master Chief, doing what's
Hey,
Spartan,
so one thing nobody seems to be talking about. Okay, right here.
doing what's
See the space? Look, you can actually see the edge of the drop off going into space off of the ring.
All those
What happens when you go off?
all those hexagons they just remind me of Fall Guy. Like that one
David,
ending
no, don't
game.
ruin it.
That's what it
Don't
looks
ruin
like.
it.
Every time I
Don't
looked at it, I was
ruin
like,
it.
it's just gonna break off.
Don't ruin it.
And I'm gonna die.
No, you're right. What if we go out and it just starts to like kind of drop like
That's
Halo
what
3
I'm
style?
thinking, yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite scenes of the whole trailer. Is this whole battlefield moment.
Spartans do best.
The thing, then grab the other one.
To take down the banished,
It's so awesome.
piece by piece. This won't be an easy.
Love it.
Master Chief will
So this is the original scene from E3 right here, but now it actually has detail and shadow.
take on returning favorites.
That's a different gun, right? That first one was
That-
a different gun.
Yeah, that one was the what's it? The shock rifle hobby.
Mm-hmm. Shock rifle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's good old Craig, guys. Craig's back. All detailed this time, hopefully.
And surprising new
Okay, so this is interesting. Hobby, I want to get your opinion on this. So obviously that's one of the installation monitors that they're taking apart right here. And it goes to the Harbinger later that we'll see here in a second where she mentions that the Forerunner's lies. I'm guessing these guys are obviously not fans of the Forerunners. They're taking this apart. Are they Forerunner or like what the hell are these things?
I mean, if you look at it, they had their armor style and everything is the same as the Harbinger. So I'm thinking they're working together.
Oh, but yeah, I think this is kind of like
like the
Sorry, what is it?
I think it's kind of her own faction. The one thing I know some people aren't mad about. I mean, look like we're gonna get Prometheans back.
I'm not mad about that. I mean, I necessarily hate their Prometheans, but I just felt they were just kind of like...
I'm just gonna miss their weapons and sandbox. Is all I'm saying. Like I'm gonna miss the light rifle suppressor, but it seems they're gonna kind of replace them with whatever these arc weapons are. You know, all
I'm
these.
gonna miss the scatter shots. What I'm gonna miss.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. The binary rifle and incineration cannon.
Oh, binary rifle's so good.
But I don't know.
Got a point.
I feel like it's just gonna. That's more of a multiplayer thing, which we can talk about another time. But campaign-wise, I feel like they're their own entity, so it just kind of confused me a little bit. Like, is our main enemy the Banished, or is it gonna be whoever the heck these guys are?
I think it's going to be the Banished working with the Harbinger and whatever creatures these are. And I think it's us saving Cortana to maybe fix and correct things.
Okay,
That's my guess.
the only reason I don't think, I mean, again, he's not confirmed, but if it has anything to do with Atriox, I don't see Atriox really working alongside these guys.
I'm actually thinking that the Harbinger is working for Atriox. I think Atriox is still the big bad. I think he's going to be the big, old, and bad of all.
Okay.
That's my opinion. That's just my opinion.
No, yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, we don't, nobody really knows. Or at least we don't.
Yeah, just a prediction. Just a prediction. I could be wrong.
Agile skimmers.
What's weird is he killed the other guy. Why?
Because they're dumb. That's all.
Because he tried to shoot the little monitor. And he
Well, maybe he missed that and hit his friend. So maybe these guys could be like a grunt relief again, right? Of new enemies.
Yeah, that looks
they
about
don't,
right.
I mean, they look cool, but they don't seem like they're going to be super difficult to deal with. They're just maybe more like drones where they're weak but fast.
We hate drones. We've established this. I hate drones.
A sadistic Spartan killer named Jaga Erdomni.
This to me is one of the most badass freaking features they've added to this game, guys. What do you guys think of this dude?
Well, he has freaking 2 swords. He has the
That is awesome.
what was it called in Halo 5? That sword that looks exactly the one that's on his left arm.
Oh, the Prophet's Bane.
The
but
Prophet's
I don't think
Bane. Yeah, it's not, but it reminds me of it because of the style.
The style and the shape.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of the original Halo. Remember when the elites had the shields?
Oh yeah,
remember that back in the
itty-bitty little
original?
one? Yeah.
Yeah, it was back. I mean, we never got it in the game, obviously, but in the original third-person shooter version that on the Mac that we were gonna have, they had like these weird blue like diamond shields. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's inspired by that. I don't think we're gonna fight this guy just one time. She says a Spartan killer. So I'm wondering if this guy's gonna be chasing us around, or we defeat him and he keeps coming back and back until we finally kill him completely. If that makes sense.
So I think he, honestly, when I saw this, it's going to be kind of a random comparison, but he kind of reminds me of Taskmaster from Spider-Man from PS4.
Oh, really?
Randomly, he's just kind of, there's going to be like random ambushes, you know, where he just kind of hits you. Then, like you said, you fight him and he somehow always sneaks away and he's always going to come back multiple times until you finally axe him towards the end of the campaign.
Kind of reminds me of Assassin's Creed. What do you guys remember the bounties?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of something like that, where you might be in an area and you see the red dot and you're like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here because I don't want to fight this guy right now.
Yeah.
Right, mhm.
Just a thought.
Now, Chief, he looks
Angry.
and something even more threatening.
The Forerunner's lies are at an end. I am the harbinger of the truth. You are not the future.
That is awesome. But do you guys notice he's in like a Forerunner area and she hit him and like he teleports outside? Like, this is going to be interesting, dude.
Harbinger.
I hope they I
yeah.
hope they do it better than what they did in Halo 4, because like when we fought the Didact was all powerful, and then the Chief got the mantle responsibility and all this stuff, but he still really didn't do anything. To him. So
Cortana did all the work for us, and we just did a bomb. That was the final boss.
So like I'm hoping that, again, they have to play this very carefully, because they don't want to make him have like all these powers where he can like levitate or shoot something or warp or anything, but they need to give him something to fight this enemy, because the weapon, I don't want him to rely on the weapon to like infect the Harbinger and then him shoot him. Like I want to see some, like us doing something so we can actually defeat this enemy and not have a cutscene.
Yeah.
Want to be the bullet, the final bullet, not cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I don't want the weapon to be there just to fix Cortana, and then Cortana again saves Chief by doing kind of a similar thing in 4. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want a way to fight this bitch this time, if that makes sense. I don't want it like, because the Didact was so built up, and I wanted to fight him. And although the ending was cool how we defeated him, I didn't get the sense of I defeated him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just get to point A, cutscene will pursue. That's how you'll defeat him. Then press A for a bomb. Like, I actually want to be able to fight him. or her in this situation,
Whoever-
but whoever this is, the Harbinger is, and whoever she is with these people, right? But obviously, yeah. So it's, I don't know.
Exploring this vast and fractured world will put Spartan 117 to the ultimate test. But where there is courage, there is hope. Welcome to the new era of Halo.
Is everyone trying to kill you?
It kind of seems like it.
Really good comedy right there.
Okay, and then you get the teaser for the trailer we got today at the end
Yeah, I
here.
won't go over that.
That's fine.
But anyway, overall thoughts, guys?
Hyped. That's all I can say. This trailer really brought me like to the point where I'm like, okay, I actually am now. I was always invested, but I was kind of like very like hesitant. But now I'm more invested. I'm like, okay, they're showing us that they actually have polished it. That all this time wasn't a waste. This isn't like the Last Guardian type of way where the end result was kind of meh. This is looking very promising.
It's kind of weird that it's technically in the Reclaimer saga, but it's straying very far from 4 and 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason why all of us and a majority of players have a bad taste in their mouths is 5's campaign. The story, sorry, let me refrain from that. The story of campaign was so freaking bad. So bad. And it just ruined a lot of taste for people's mouths.
And I think it doesn't help that we got a campaign that we weren't really promised. You know,
Yeah,
especially
Dave, you can attest to that. I know all of us were all invested in like the podcast and stuff too, and we didn't get what we wanted. But this one, what I'm liking is they're not promoting it through. I mean, I like the podcast thing we had, right? That was awesome. But at the same time, the marketing was all these CGI trailers that we never got. Where this one, the promotion's all here's the gameplay, here's this cutscenes in the game. You know what I mean? Like this isn't. We're not going to get a false product this time, if that makes sense. The marketing is here's the game. This is the game.
we hope not, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it's.
No, but I mean, at least they're not showing us like CGI cutscenes of an element of a story, right? This is actually showing us the in-game stuff.
All in-game
That's what
stuff.
I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you know that this is a product we're gonna get, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, I was the same way, Days. I wasn't really I was cautiously optimistic, but this actually makes me excited for the campaign. This makes me want to play. This makes me want to know what's gonna happen. This makes me care. Because 5 was done so bad, and you can tell, like, without the Prometheans and all this. I mean, we don't even know if we're gonna get Flood yet, guys.
I mean, we're gonna get Flood.
I hope we do in a way. I mean, I regret those words a little bit, but I kind of hope we do.
They've already confirmed the I can't remember his or their exact name. The pug that records the sounds for the Flood. He's already
Really?
confirmed.
Nuts.
Isn't his name Fred or something? That pug.
So bad. Like I
Whatever.
probably know it, but I know the pug sounds have already been confirmed, and it was on I think it was on Good Morning America. They confirmed it, so it's really random. Yeah, I
Good
know
morning,
they were talking.
America. Okay.
It was really weird. I'll have to find the link.
I'll wait and see now after that point.
Yeah. So it's not
Oh
like,
my god.
but anyways, I
No,
think
you're
I'm
fine.
excited about it. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, I don't want to get my hopes up like before because I feel like every time a new Halo comes out, I get super excited. And there's times, like especially with 5, I was a little bit let down on the campaign side of things. But I think this is the Halo where they're really listening, or 343 is really listening to what fans have asked for, or what fans have liked about previous games. Like I said, this feels like the campaign feels like CE, which
Yeah.
I agree is probably one of the most iconic, maybe not the best, but one of the most iconic Halo campaigns. And then I feel like they're really trying to make multiplayer like 3, which not my favorite, but I know is by far the most popular. It was Halo at its peak, at least online multiplayer
I mean,
wise.
it feels modernized at least, right? It kind of feels like 2, 3, and Reach a little bit to me.
Not a cut and copy, but it does feel like they're trying to do the best of what the majority of fans have asked for.
Yeah, they seem to fix the bloom. RNG is never a good thing, so we'll see what they'll do. But I'm super hyped. I can't wait to play this. This is just dream come true to have a campaign like this massive for Halo. You know, it doesn't look like it's going to be the 8-hour campaign that we're kind of used to. This definitely looks like it's going to be a big one. I'm just going to throw. I want to ask your guys' opinion. Without collecting every damn thing, how big do you think this campaign will be? How many hours you guys thinking?
I still don't think it'll be too big. I think they're. I honestly had to say they're banking on that to make it longer. I would say it's still gonna be longer. I think it'll be one of the longest campaigns, but I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna say 10 to 11 without doing anything else.
Okay. Javi, what about you?
I was thinking right around there without having to collect everything. I think it's like 12 or 14. And in some cases, the way it's built, I'd hope it's not going to be where you do have to get everything to progress. I feel like it might be more of like a, kind of like a Breath of the Wild situation. You know, you don't need to gather all this gear to beat the final, but make it to the end. But it sure will help if you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of thinking about 20 hours for a completionist, but yeah, I'd probably say I'll meet you guys in the middle. I'll say about 13 hours.
Okay.
Meet you guys in the middle. So yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be longer than 10 for sure. It's gonna be because I think they're about 8 to 10 hour campaigns majority for Halo. But yeah, so I'll go 13 just to meet you guys in the middle. So, anyways, any more closing thoughts or how are we feeling?
Just super excited. Waiting.
Yep, those are my thoughts.
All right, well, with that, we'll close off and we'll see if we get any more new stuff coming Halo's way, and we'll cover it when we can for you guys. So we're going to sign off for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, subscribe. I'd really like anybody's thoughts on things maybe we didn't notice. If there's any lore parts that we didn't notice that you guys can add, I'd really like to hear of it. We're all big Halo nerds here, and we're really, really happy and invested with the story so far of how it's looking. So anything you guys want to add or comment, please leave it down below. This is Miles, your tech guy.
David the Smash Fan.
And Hobby Shark King.
It's Chimino Podcast.